Hello, this is a message to Bristol UCU members, as well as a message encouraging those who are not yet members to become so. Today, academic staff in humanities and modern languages have been offered voluntary severance. This follows from a 3-week period in which professional services staff in IT were also offered voluntary severance. Since this time last year, we've warned that the University of Bristol's approach to the crisis in higher education funding will have an uneven effect across the institution. That cuts will be made little by little here and there, and that at least part of the reason for that is to avoid the headlines that large-scale redundancies would mean. These cuts started in 2025 and they are accelerating in 2026. Shit is getting real, in other words. If you're an academic, this takes the form of the 50% surplus target that have been given to all schools as a minimum. If you are in professional services, it takes the form of the Professional Services Transformation Programme. If one of those forces have not come knocking on your door already, the chances are that they will. As union branch officers, we've drawn a line in the sand of when we will call for strike action. And that line in the sand is at compulsory redundancies. That's what we successfully did last year in the CALD dispute. Now, we've made very, very clear to university management that we would do the same again if compulsory redundancies are proposed in any academic school or in any professional service area where we have good density and where we can make good on that strike threat. Therefore, our message to staff in this university, whether union members or not, is this. You are as strong and as protected as the number of union members that you have around you in your part of the university. So if you're sitting in DRE or library services, wondering when the PSTP will come knocking on your door, join a union and make sure that your colleagues do too. Going back to the voluntary severance schemes that are being rolled out at the moment, these bespoke schemes don't look the same. What was offered in IT was 6 months' pay. What's offered in humanities and modern languages is 9 months' pay. This is all regardless of the length of service, which means that the shorter that you've been here, the more attractive those packages are. The university line is that these packages are different because different professions have different job prospects. Our message is that these voluntary means are brought in to avoid strike action that compulsory redundancies would lead to. Therefore, the higher the union density, the stronger the threat of strike action. The more important to the university that voluntary measures are successful, the better the voluntary package will look. After the CAL dispute, we encouraged the university to always use voluntary means before considering compulsory ones. But voluntary severance is an employer's tool and not something that any union can or should negotiate about. That is, no voluntary severance package can be good enough for us to say that we won't go on strike for the next year or whatever. On our strong critique of the university's demands for all schools to reach 50% surplus, it must be noted that 2 of the schools now being offered voluntary severance are the two schools with the highest percentage of home students. So that logic is driven by the marketization of our sector and our reliance on international students. But it is the university's choice to decide that the subjects catering primarily to home students must suffer. That is, the university could and should do more cross-subsidizing than it is currently prepared to do. The higher price that international students pay should not actually mean that they deserve a better education for it. This is a choice that university management are making, and they could make a different choice. So watch this space, join a union, and get your colleagues to join a union too.